In today's news, COVID-related deaths in the BVI continue to rise. So far, 9 lives claimed by the virus.
And 2 female COVID-related deaths reported on Thursday, with 41 persons hospitalized, of which all are unvaccinated.
One Mart superstore says they will not release unvaccinated workers.
And the BVI's positivity COVID-19 rate alarmingly high, with the USVI to assist BVI in COVID fight, and this is according to Governor Bryan.
Speaker of the House of Commons meets with overseas territories' House speakers.
And the BVI not the only territory experiencing COVID spike, with millions of cases recorded in the region this week. And that was from PAHO Director Dr. Etienne. All this and much more after a short commercial break.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Welcome everyone, it's Friday, July 16th, 2021. I'm Kamal Haynes.
And I'm Ron Grant. We're coming to you live and direct from Tortola in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. We want to wish each and every one of you a happy Friday and a beautiful evening. Before we get into our newscast, just touching on a few items. As it pertains to the COI, former Deputy FS denies not cooperating with audits. Regular accountability is needed for the Prospect Reef operations, says auditor. And no hearings in August for the COI. The team heads back to the UK for a break. In addition to that, a top cop says he believes that moving life-serving prisoners out of the BVI is an option. In addition to that, BVI's main hospital says they are the only authorized COVID testing facility. Now viewers, beginning on the local scene here in the British Virgin Islands. This morning, the territory of the Virgin Islands was made aware of yet another COVID-19 related death. The victim, a male in his 30s, was admitted to the Dr. Deolanda Smith Hospital and later succumbed to complications of COVID-19 late last evening, July 15, 2021. This news was confirmed when the father of the young man called a local radio program this morning and publicly confirmed his death. The young man was a member of the Alexandrina Maduro Primary School class of 2001 and a prominent local DJ.
And 2 females from the BVI sadly passed after being diagnosed with COVID-19 as the active cases rose to 1,602. But this was confirmed by the Ministry of Health on the evening of Thursday, July 15th via a media release. Well, according to the information, the deceased are an 83-year-old female and a 36-year-old female who were both patients at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital at the time of their passing. The Minister for Health, Carvin Malone, expressed his condolences to the families and loved ones of those on behalf of the government of the Virgin Islands. Well, he said, and I quote, "Expressing condolences to the many bereaved families is getting harder and harder, but the road to the other side of this surge will not be without challenges, but I remain steadfast in knowing that if we all do our part, we will get through this. Let us continue to pray, adhere to the established COVID-19 protocols and guidelines, and follow the curfew orders and get vaccinated," end quote. Well, meanwhile, Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Ronald Georges also expressed condolences to the families of the deceased, and he urged persons to continue to follow the public health protocols. Well, he said, and I quote, "My heart goes out to the families who are affected by the death of their loved one. But COVID is real, and if we are to get through this, some of us will have to change our approach to this virus. We must continue to strictly adhere to the health and safety protocols and take advantage of the opportunity to get vaccinated." But given that the BVI is experiencing high community transmission, all symptomatic persons should immediately assume that they are COVID positive. Therefore, we need persons to adhere to isolation and quarantine orders, end quote. But meanwhile, the ministry also revealed updated statistics on the status of persons admitted to the hospital for COVID-19 related treatment, where the numbers revealed that a sum of 41 persons have been admitted to the hospital, all of whom are unvaccinated. With the COVID-19 hospital admission summary statistics are as follows, and this is from the July 15th date. 11 persons admitted to the ER with 3 deaths, 22 persons admitted to the COVID-19 ward with 3 deaths, 1 person admitted to the behavioral health unit, 5 persons admitted to the ICU with 2 deaths, and 1 person admitted to the obstetric unit. Well, the ministry also appealed to all unvaccinated persons to come out to the vaccination drive, which is scheduled to be held at the festival grounds this Saturday, July 17th and Sunday, July 18th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But the public health team also asked members of the community to have patience as their team continue to work tirelessly. For persons who have taken the COVID-19 test and did not get their results back are asked to fill out a form via a link which reads https://redcap.link/lab results.
Moving on the issue of the COVID-19 pandemic, President and CEO of Mart Superstore Group, Mark Vantapool, says unvaccinated staff will keep their jobs, respecting their decisions not to accept the COVID-19 vaccine at this time. Vantapool commented, saying, and I quote, "Several weeks ago, our supermarket group adopted a policy for not scheduling unvaccinated employees to work physically at any of our company's properties. We did so in the interest of our customers, our employees, and our business. However, we have no plans to release those workers on account of not vaccinations or non-vaccinations at this time. Instead, our executive team is exploring options for those persons to be assigned other duties or to work remotely within the company." Vantapool further added, and I quote, "Our staff members have always been devoted to our company and customers, and we too are devoted to them. Thankfully, over 90%, that's 125 persons, of Mart's staff is already fully vaccinated or partially vaccinated. Approximately 10%, some 15 persons, remain unvaccinated for various reasons." He said, "I strongly believe that COVID-19 vaccines are the only option to give our business, our people, and our community a fighting chance against defeating this deadly pandemic. However, we fully intend to treat all staff with respect and dignity. We respect their positions, but we still strongly encourage them to be vaccinated unless they have extenuating medical or religious reasons. In the meantime, we will pivot our operations slightly and deploy available technology to allow them to work remotely." Now, on June 28, 2021, after having 2 staff members test positive for COVID-19, Mart Superstore instructed that affected workers remain quarantined at home until advised otherwise by the British Virgin Islands Public Health Unit. Then, on June 30th, 2021, Mart Superstore further advised all employees that persons who did not take their first COVID-19 shots by July 3rd and their second shots by July 31st would not be scheduled to work until further notice. Since that time, the officials say all such employees have continued to receive full pay and a weekly $100 food voucher for a 2-week period with home delivery grocery services. Mart say they value all its team members and respects the personal decisions of unvaccinated staff. The supermarket say they continue to operate with enhanced safety measures in place and vaccinated workers only at this time. We strongly encourage all in the BVI, they say, to vaccinate for all of our safety. Our prayers are with the BVI, especially those who have lost loved ones and those who are suffering, both in the hospital and at home.
Still ahead, the BVI's positivity COVID rate alarmingly high for the USVI to assist the BVI in their COVID-19 fight. All this and so much more after a word from our sponsors.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Welcome back, viewers. Well, the positivity rate of the COVID-19 virus in the British Virgin Islands has raised a number of alarming concerns with the United States Virgin Islands Governor Albert Bryan. Well, Governor Bryan made that disclosure during a media briefing on Thursday, July 15th, where he revealed some new travel protocols that will be in effect on Monday, July 19th for all persons traveling to the USVI from the BVI. Well, Bryan said despite the USVI having a much larger population than the BVI, the number of active COVID-19 cases in the territory at once in the BVI had more than septuple the numbers in the USVI. Well, take a listen.
Right now, we are under full watch for what is going on in the British Virgin Islands. The current situation, ladies and gentlemen, is not good, and that's putting it lightly. As of last night, the British Virgin Islands reported having 1,559 active cases I want you to pay close attention to that number, because the most active cases we have ever had in the Virgin Islands is around 200. And we are 3 times the size of the British Virgin Islands. In the last 24 hours, they reported 3 deaths. And just like us, their hospitals and their infrastructure employees are affected. Over 100 of their hospital workers are either with COVID or quarantined because they may have been exposed to the virus. Their positivity rate for the last week and a half exceeds 17% compared to us in the Virgin Islands, which is at 3%, which is not that good either.
Well, Governor Bryan also said that he has been in discussions with the relevant authorities to give as much support as possible to the BVI.
We are doing everything we can to help the British Virgin Islands. Premier Foy, his cabinet, and all the people over there. I've been on the phone with the State Department. The delegate has been reaching out, trying to get assistance from DC for wherever we go. We are a foreign, they are a foreign port, and it makes it extremely difficult for us to send over any resources that we have. But we're constantly talking to FEMA, the CDC, the Health and Human Services, to see what assistance we can give our brothers and sisters over in the British Virgin Islands. We will continue to do everything we can to give as much support as we can to the British Virgin Islands. Up to this morning, I had the occasion to speak to Premier Foy, who remains concerned, but positive in terms of that they're going to be able to make it through with this. Preliminary reports say that they expect their active cases to get to as high as 5,000. So it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So we have to make sure that we are taking care of not only them, but ourselves. As they often say, when you're going to save somebody in the plane, put on your life vest first.
Well, the USVI governor further said that his administration has been working on getting the monoclonal antibody treatment for the BVI, a treatment which is used in the USVI and the United States to treat positive COVID-19 patients.
I mean, we're fortunate to have the monoclonal antibody treatment, which the British Virgin Islands doesn't have. One of the things we're working on trying to get them that resource. That's the treatment you get if you go to the hospital and you have not been vaccinated. We're able to give you that, and it helps your body immediately produce antibodies and fight against COVID. It's not 100%, and you still have to get the vaccine after you have that monoclonal antibody, because it only lasts about 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, as we heard, viewers, Governor Bryan expressing his desire to assist the BVI in a time of need. And Ron, we also see the importance of maintaining good relationships between our neighboring islands and territories. Absolutely.
Now more than ever, I think it is imperative that we continue to strengthen those relationships between the British Virgin Islands and USVI. I think the people of the Virgin Islands were quite pleased to hear from Governor Albert Bryan.
Indeed.
Continuing on, the Speaker of the House of Commons of the United Kingdom met with speakers of the British Overseas Territories for formal introductions and to discuss the upcoming OT conference and other future collaborative efforts. Speaker of the House of Assembly, the Honourable Julian Willock, Deputy Speaker and Territorial Member, the Honourable Neville A. Smith, and Acting Deputy Clerk, Miss Industrious, were virtually present for a meeting that was chaired by the Speaker of the UK House of Commons, Sir Lindsay H. Holley, and other overseas territories. Now, some of the territories represented were Anguilla, Bermuda, Cayman Islands, of course, Montserrat, St. Helena, and Turks and Caicos Islands. During the introduction period, Honorable Willock said, and I quote, "We look forward to the Overseas Territories Conference, more so to ensure that it will be a process whereby all the OTs can frankly and honestly share views and complaints, and that a mechanism between parliaments can be set up to foster solutions to many challenges faced within the OTs." Another topic of the meeting's agenda was the Montserrat Legislative Assembly building, which is currently in disrepair. The Honourable Willock expressed his agreement in supporting the collective effort to write to Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab regarding the financial assistance and making this a priority. Now, in April of 2021, viewers, the Speaker of the UK House of Commons expressed his interest in fostering and developing relationships with all overseas territories and their representatives. And as a result, 3 OT's national holiday, including, of course, Virgin Islands Day, were celebrated when the UK Parliament hoisted their individual flags. According to Speaker Holes, on his Twitter account, he said, and I quote, "Today, I met virtually with speakers from the British overseas territories around the world. It was interesting to hear about how their parliaments work and discuss the challenges we have all faced during this pandemic." Now, in keeping with his expressed interest, Speaker Hole remains steadfast in planning for the first Speakers of the House of Commons and Overseas Territories Conference, and Honourable Willock is in full support. Kamal, again, we're happy to see that our relationships are being strengthened. This is not the first time that the Honourable Julian Willock and the UK House of Commons have been in discussions, but we continue to see these forces being strengthened.
Indeed, much well received. Well, up next, the BVI, not the only territory experiencing COVID-19 spike, with millions of cases recorded in the region this week. All this and more after a word from our sponsors.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Well, viewers, welcome back. While the British Virgin Islands continue to experience an unprecedented number of positive COVID-19 cases, many international and regional countries are also seeing a resurgence in COVID-19 infections. But this is according to the director of the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Clarissa Etienne, who made a statement while delivering her remarks at a press briefing on Thursday, July 15th.
As of this week, our region reported nearly 74 million cases and 1.9 million deaths from COVID-19, accounting for more than a third of COVID cases and more than 40% of deaths reported worldwide this week. And while new cases are down nearly 20% from last week, many countries, including the United States, are seeing a resurgence of infections. In North America, the United States of America and Mexico are reporting an increase in new infections across most states. Many Central American nations are also seeing cases, including in El Salvador, where a consistent increase in daily cases was noted between late June and early July, and Guatemala, where at departmental level, there was surges in COVID deaths in the past 2 weeks.
Well, Dr. Etienne also revealed the alarming statistics coming out of the Caribbean region, where Cuba and the British Virgin Islands are presently the front runners, recording very high peaks of the virus.
In the Caribbean, infections are also going up. Cuba reported the highest number of weekly cases since the start of the pandemic, and cases have tripled in the British Virgin Islands just weeks after reopening to cruise ships. Meanwhile, South America is reporting a mixed picture. COVID infections, hospitalizations, and deaths are dropping across most of the continent, including in Brazil, Peru, Uruguay, and Chile. However, infections are once again mounting in Argentina and in Colombia. And they are reaching their highest ever levels, raising concerns about the health system's ability to cope, as 98% of ICU beds are already in use.
But Dr. Etienne further said that the spike of the virus throughout the region can be linked to a level of complacency exhibited by persons who fail to adhere to the COVID-19 public health protocols. But these include the wearing of masks, social distancing, and frequent hand washing or sanitizing of hands.
Cases rise when complacency sets in. We are all tired, but after experiencing successive peaks of infections in the same locations, we must break the cycle by embracing public health measures early and consistently. When variants of concern circulate, it's even more important that countries step up surveillance, especially while vaccine coverage remains low.
Well, the highest daily average reported in Cuba now stands at 6,004 new infections reported each day, with yesterday, July 15th, recording a total of 6,479 positive cases. But the BVI presently has the BVI has 1,602 active COVID-19 cases and 9 total deaths.
Kamal, this is a daunting reality that we are not alone in this fight. Our prayers go out to our brothers and sisters across the region, and I think it is quite an example for us to all realize that we're in this together and we're not fighting alone.
Indeed.
Continuing on the local scene, the BVI Labor Arbitration Tribunal delivered groundbreaking decisions, they say, at a public hearing recently via Cisco WebEx. According to the chairperson, Mr. Jamal S. Smith, who presided over each case, the tribunal has successfully concluded public hearings of oral testimony and arguments in 4 cases held on March 4th, March 25th, May 18th, and June 15th. Now, in addition to Chairperson Smith, the other arbitrators sitting in various cases included Adancia Penn, OBE, QC, John Carrington, QC, Dr. Benedicta P.T. Samuels, Kamika A. Forbes, and Professor Arthur Richardson. Mr. Smith said, and I quote, "After reopening some of the hearings to receive further submissions, the tribunal has delivered its final awards at public hearings. I'm certainly happy that we have been able to adjudicate these active matters, which will conclude my first year as chairperson at the end of July, with only one matter predating my term still pending." He continued by saying the decision considered the tribunal's power to award punitive damage and for the first time set standards for levels of such punitive sums ordered against employers where they were unfair dismissal. Mr. Smith added that 2 of the decisions for the first time explored the legal requirements when considering 2 different redundancy situations. This, he said, will hopefully give adequate guidance to both employers and employees going through redundancies. 2 other decisions considered the 2 different statutory processes to be followed when dismissing an employee. Other issues decided for the first time by the tribunal included employee housing rights, pension, and the tribunal's power to award cost and interest. Now, of course, the final awards can be viewed on the Labor Arbitration Tribunal website, and to do that, you can visit the BVI government page at bvi.gov.vg/departments/labor-arbitration.
Well, up next, viewers, radio show Claude Skelton Cline hints at calling another Gangster Summit in the BVI. This right after a quick commercial break.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Welcome back, viewers. A radio talk show host, Claude Skelton Cline, has hinted at the possibility of calling another Gangster Summit in the BVI following reports that suggest the recent spike in COVID-19 cases is linked to illegal entry. Well, Cline made that statement during his Honestly Speaking radio program on Tuesday, July 13th. But during the program, Cline voiced his concerns on the subject of illegal entry into the BVI, which he believes could be linked to the spike in COVID cases in the territory. Take a listen.
If for whatever reason, which I cannot imagine, but I'm not going to argue with you. That's not my point. If for any reason you're still not there, then do whatever it is you got to do to be safe to yourself, your family, your friends, and the community at large. But I am strongly encouraging you to get vaccinated. I understand from the Health Service Authority that the vaccines that they were holding for persons that they had scheduled for the end of the month is available. Get vaccinated. I understand from them also that some new vaccines are coming in sometime this week from the UK. Let's hope they get here. Go get vaccinated. I understand that those of you who were scheduled to go to get your second dose at the end of the month, they may push your date back. I'll let them verify that with you. If that's the case, let the date be pushed back so you can get the full efficacy of the 8 to 10 weeks. 2 doses are better than 1. 1 is better than none, in the words of Dr. Georges.
Well, Cline, who is also a government consultant, urged those persons who may be involved with the illegal practice of smuggling in persons to cease at once, as it poses the risk of the territory reclosing its maritime borders. Well, he said he has been speaking with persons in the local law enforcement agencies who have told him that since the removal of the barges and certain officers, the border security measures have drastically weakened.
Our borders, since the removal of those badges, removal of officers on those badges, which now we're scared to revisit because this COI looked like it got us paralyzed. I'm going to come to that in a minute. What the people in law enforcement are telling me, that one, y'all weren't even meeting on a regular basis like you were doing with the Joint Task Force. No, I understand that there's some meeting that's since been resumed. But again, Governor, what's the name of the governor? Governor Rankin and the National Security Council. Where is the will and the resources behind the will to ensure that our borders remain fortified, that combats against any illegal substance, but equally important now, any human trafficking?
Well, this is the second time that a well-known pastor has called for a gangster summit in the territory. Well, the first was back in August 2020, following a spike in COVID-19 cases, which was attributed to illegal entry of persons into the BVI. Around, you can see basically he's appealing to persons, to stop that illegal act, despite the fact that there's no clear indication as to what is the main cause for the spike. He's saying that there are rumors which suggest that it could have been caused by illegal entry.
The issue of illegal entry has been one that has crippled the BVI for a very long time, and I do think this is an ongoing problem that we have to look at closely. Viewers, that is it for today's News Roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at tweet4media.com, and of course like us on Facebook at tweet4media and tweet4BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant.
And I'm Kamal Haynes, and we'll see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and international content. Tweet4 News, your source for honest and impartial news, right here on tweet4media.com. Happy Friday, everyone.